Hey Fish Fam, this is Nikachu, Merfolk Master. I'm here with my brother, and we are back to Simic Merfolk. Simic Merfolk gets to play with Oko, Thief of Crowns, super OP card in Modern. Merfolk gets to take advantage of this card. If you want to see how Simic Merfolk is competitive in Modern, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Before we get into our deck tech, we're going to get into our sponsors, because of course a channel with 10,000 subscribers are going to have sponsors, starting with themanabase.com. And you know what? Jason Peturica from the Manabase has a giveaway. We are giving away Brawl decks, so if you want to be eligible for those Brawl decks, go check out Jason Peturica's article on it on themanabase.com. Your home base for everything Magic the Gathering. And the MTG Mastermind, the coaching program. Take your game to a winning level. If you want to stop scrubbing out of events and you want to start holding the trophy, you're going to want to learn from those on the MTG Mastermind. And I've got new patrons supporting me on Patreon. Thank you all so much for your support, supporting the channel, supporting Modern Merfolk, our slippery, fishy friends. So I'm going to start thanking Amy. We are also going to thank Andrew, who raised his pledge on Patreon. We're going to also thank Wayne Fisher. I'd like to thank Mattia Audi. And lastly, we're going to thank Butt Sweat. Thank you all so much for your support on Patreon. So, I've got a pretty serious tournament coming up soon, the Fusion 5K, which is happening this weekend, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
What's first place?
I don't know, probably like $800 or something. Cash! This is not store credit, this is a cash event. So, it's a 5K, so if you live around the Winnipeg area, if you're from Minneapolis, you want to drive 8 hours to an event that's worth your time, hey, drive out to Winnipeg, Manitoba. So there's going to be a 5K there, and I gotta be prepared. So I'm going to be preparing with our Simic Merfolk deck. There's not a whole lot of things that I want to change. I did go back down to 3 Mutavaults since last time. I want as stable of a mana base as possible. In addition to that, we are. I mean, I don't know enough about Damping Sphere if it's going to be that big of a deal. I also know that my local metagame has almost no Amulet Titans, so there's no point running like Damping Sphere. There might be one deck. There might be one Amulet Titan deck. Maybe. What I can guarantee, though, is there's probably going to be a lot of Shadow decks, so that's why I'm putting 2 more Brazen Borrowers in the sideboard. Brazen Borrower is going to help us like rebalance Gurmag Angler, buy ourselves some time against Death Shadow. It's a good combat trick when they try to use Team or Battle Rage, so I'm confident in Brazen Borrower, so I want more Brazen Borrowers. We're going the full 4, and it will be fine against any attrition-based matchup, where we just need to bring in more creatures, more threat density, as we were siding out these damn force negations. Honestly, I don't... Maybe I should be playtesting without Grafdigger's Cage. I expect to see 0 Neoform at my local game store. Or at the Fusion 5K, no one plays Neoform here, so there's no point. But there are a few Dredge players. There's quite a few people who are on Dredge right before Faithless Looting got banned. I wouldn't be surprised if Dredge was still one of the decks on the radar. There's a lot of Tron in my area, so I don't mind having Chalice, Collector Oof, an abundance of counter spells. That should all be good. And Oko, Thief of Crowns, hopefully can just help beat all the burn decks. Help beat Andrew Day to Dryden. He's been tormented over Oko, Thief of Crowns. That's right. I got 4 of them in the deck just for you, Andrew. Just for you. Just for you. So aside from that, this is general Simic deck that we're playing. And let's throw it into a league. So we lost the die roll, but I'm keeping this on the draw. And we are up against, I believe, Eldrazi and Taxes. Ooh, and we draw the second land, which I needed. So we're going to start off with our Ether Vial. Hopefully that's all we need. So it's an Eldrazi and Taxes deck, so I think... Well, that's late.
Turn 2 Vial, not where you want to be.
Yeah, not really. Get in for damage? Get in for damage. Well, I guess Spreading Seas is just not going to be effective right now. So we might as well play our creatures.
This makes these always good.
Oh, I don't know about that.
What if they miss a land drop?
They've got Ether Vial.
Brazen Bar will take care of that.
I think we might as well just dump our creatures. We have a lot of them.
Commander Speaker.
More Solar Guild Adepts, not bad. They're not bad. If they didn't have the Ether Vial in play, I would just start spending time with Spreading Seas. But since they have the Ether Vial, they're going to put a very steady amount of creatures onto the battlefield. Or maybe not. Maybe they're flooding out.
Good.
They do nothing. Okay. Do you have a second Giver of Runes? I can probably beat an army of these things. Any flash creatures? So... trying to think, like, how do I do this? Because I can, like, Trickster this Giver of Runes. So I think I'm going to attack with the Silver Gill Adept. If they activate the Vial, I'll Trickster the Giver of Runes. Oh, they're not going to do anything. Then I'm not going to do anything. Just get our damage in. I think they know about the Mistbinder I showed them.
You play a land drop?
Absolutely. But what if I draw Mutavault? What if I draw Mutavault? Then I would want to play that. You gotta be careful with those land drops.
No. Disagree.
Okay, so they had nothing. Which means I could... Well, I don't know. I'm gonna do something.
But they don't got any 1 or 2 mana?
They don't have any 1 mana spells. And it looks like they don't have any 3 mana spells. Maybe they have a very... Maybe their hand is like all Eldrazi.
Just beasts.
Beasts. What is this? Oh, I get it. The Tide Hellsculler.
Classic play.
Classic play, yeah. Probably gonna take our Mistbinder. That'll be a bit of a problem.
You have more Mistbinders.
Well, actually, I can at least tap down this Giver of Runes. That'll allow me to attack for a clean 6.
Can't protect yourself.
Cannot protect yourself. And even if you did, you're tapped anyway. So what do I care?
No land drop for the turn.
Yeah, so their hand must be like really clunky or very situational. Like they have Eldrazi, what's it called?
Diarrhea.
Wasteland Strangler. That's what I was thinking about. Let's attack for 6. See if it gets through.
Beth. Dirty son of a bitch.
So dirty. Okay, no blocks. I'd really like to hit this Silent Cleansing. Or sorry, Silent Clearing. Well, let's... Spreading Seas something. Actually, maybe that wasn't the best line because I could guarantee getting my hand empty if I play Silver Gilded at first, but playing this Spreading Seas doesn't guarantee anything. But we will empty our hand now.
Good stuff.
It's not bad.
Yeah, 2
So
Aether
at
Wells.
least it's something.
Your Aether Wells can utilize both of these. Going upstairs. Going up the stairs.
Yeah, here comes Wasteland Strangler. Or... I'm not sure. Something. Do I even want to use this? I guess so. Still tap down the Giver of Runes. Make sure my opponent cannot give pro something. Sure. It'd be nice to draw Oko. Oh my god, we're drawing all these things. That's fine, I guess. Well, they have plenty of silent clearings. Well, there we go! Okay, so now what do we do? Because what I can do is I'm gonna get rid of this Ether Vial. Yeah, we're gonna get rid of this Ether Vial, like, right now.
I'll be stuck on 1 white or 1 black mana.
Yeah, that's all you get for the rest of the game.
Resignation.
And then we can spreading seize it.
3, 2. Use it or lose it, pal.
Oh, I guess if it's what's it called? Path to Exile. Okay.
The last land.
Time to elk it up. There's a Wasteland Strangler, as I predicted. Okay, so they have a decent army against the Oko. Yeah, I hope this was the right thing to do. It's tough. I'm gonna have to make some, like, potentially some bad chump blocks.
No land drop. No land drop.
Yeah, but they want white mana more than anything. If I get to untap with Oko, it's not good for them.
Where's all this damage going?
It's probably all going at Oko.
Okay. Everybody want me dead.
See, if they're smart, they should... well, they don't know I have a Spreading Seas left in my hand. But anyway, we're going to make these blocks. So Oko lives. And then I can start turning the Ether Vials into lands. Oh, sorry, I can start turning the Ether Vials into stuff. Damn, that silent clearing.
Emrakul. Turn it into a creature.
I definitely will. I really want to turn this into something, because then they can't play anything.
Do it.
But then I lose my card. But is it worth it? It might be. The thing is, it's not an equal exchange. They get to draw something else off of this. Is this also a source of colorless mana? It's not. Okay, let's just blow this up.
There's no legal targets, only illegal targets.
Time for the Elk Army. The Elk Army is about to be assembled.
An eighth of REL with summoning sickness. You see it here, people.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Only with Oko can we see this bizarro world. So long story short, this should buy us a lot of time, at the very least. So only one thing is going to get protected. Interesting. So if I draw like one Merfolk, we can definitely block this Wasteland Strangler to death. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. You take nothing from me. But if I kill you... And it was the colorless mana too. Come on, Brazen Borrower. Well, I'll take that. So we got all our Spreading Seasons this game.
Now we... Good stuff.
That was terrible. Well, Oko gonna die. Thought Oko was gonna be great. Oko, you suck. This is almost a good board state. Like, we depended on our opponent to be choked on land. Like, that was the plan. Or maybe we should have just let our opponent kill the Oko and we attack our opponent back. Like, that's a valid line too. I don't know what we can do to get back from here. Like, this is actually a pretty bad board state now because we've got all our Silver Gill Adepts in the graveyard. And our opponent keeps making their land drops. So, like, now what do I want? Like another Oko doesn't even seem very good. Brazen Borrower would be good because I can bounce Thought Not Seer. I could bounce Thought Not Seer, draw a card. This is garbage. Well, you know what would have been good a long, long, long time ago? An Island Walk Lord.
They're all coming now.
Our opponent completely gets out of their mana screw.
You should just crack that for a token.
I will. Because if we draw an Oko, I'll just turn my Ether Vial into a creature.
No.
Does it help? I guess it does. I tried to go aggro, it wasn't good enough. It's like, okay, they swing out for 7. I go down to 5. What if I draw an Island Walk Lord? It's still not lethal. What do you need the land for? Like this turn. Oh yeah, we're super dead now.
Next game.
Yeah, basically next game. Like I'm trying to put in perspective, like where's my gas? Where's my threats? I drew 1,000,000 cards and I actually have like 1,000,000 land in play. I know, and our opponent like helped us with these Path to Exiles, and I kept drawing lands. All right, concede. All right. You got game one, Eldrazi and Taxes. That was a bit of a scam, in my opinion. That I felt really scammed in this game. Maybe I was protecting the Oko a little too prematurely. We should just use the Oko as a distraction so we could counterattack against our opponent. Because we had a lot of creatures, and then we just kept getting 2-for-1 over and over again. When really we could just attack our opponent for a lot. Well, I don't know if we can attack our opponent for that much. Our opponent had that Wasteland Strangler in play. Okay, so what do we want? We want Brazen Borrower, bounce their Ether Vial. We want probably Oko.
Someone wouldn't be too bad.
Maybe Collector Oof on the play, and I can take out some Ether Vials. Okay, cards I don't want. Force Negation's garbage. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's just all we do. You want me to put Chalice on 1?
You have only 2 1-drops. If you get rid of your own Ether Vials,
we are not doing that.
Replace them with Oof.
So I don't know if this version of Eldrazi and Taxes is playing Leonin Arbiter, but just in case, I don't like to side out land. Like, generally, I like to side out a land against Path to Exile decks, but when it comes to Eldrazi and Taxes, it could be fatal. Yeah, we can keep this. This is not the most beautiful looking hand. Guess there's 0 chance I'm attacking with this Mutavault next turn. I'll just play my Silvergill Adept. And I thought I'd be bought a lot of time in that last game. Because we we mana screwed them. They had no more white mana. And off the top.
Over and over. Good stuff.
It's going to be a repeat of the last game. We do have Waterlog Groves to try to get us out of this, but it's not convenient. Stoneforge Mystic, alright.
The original.
Batter Skull. Let's get our damage in while we can.
Shaping up?
Yeah, it is actually. Okay, so I think we're gonna. This is the most damage that we can do here. Is attack for 6. And then we can set up something where we attack for a lot more next turn. Well, I mean, we still sort of need... What's it called? We could still use... Spreading Seas.
More Lords.
No, more Spreading Seas. Lords, I'll take Lords too, but...
You gonna get in there?
The thing is, the Batter Skull is just going to compensate our opponent's life.
Bladder Skull. Ooh, yeah.
That is very good, actually. That was a good draw. That was a good draw. I wasn't even thinking about this card. So we can now tap the Batter Skull. Get in for a giant chunk of damage.
You want to pass the Lord? I got another one. Remember that 0.1% of germs that don't get killed by Lysol? Here it is.
Yeah. Here's the Lysol. Oh, of course. Why wouldn't you have Path Exile?
Surprise!
our opponent with all the answers this game. I'm not gonna complain too much about our position. It's still okay. But like they're gonna start gaining a pretty steady amount of life now. Oh, this is gonna be it's Feast of Famine. That's fine. I mean, well, 6/6 lifelink and all this stuff, not great. What is this? That player discards a card and you untap all lands you control. Oh, that's gonna be terrible. Should I then chump block?
You throw something in front of it.
I don't really want my opponent to untap. 14. I have lethal if I can find a way to tap and with tap. Well, I need a combination of both something that blocks this germ.
You have 2 card draw opportunities next turn at least with the Waterlog Rose.
Whenever a crypt creature deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card, and you may untap all lands you control. The untap lands part is the crappy part about this. Because they could like play Wasteland Strangle and really blow up my board. I don't, and also if Ghost Quarter is untapped, I can't get any damage. I can discard a card, that's not a problem. I have this Ether Vial. It's a bad spot. It's a bad spot. It's just terrible. It's just a bad spot to be in. I'll take the line that keeps my creatures on the battlefield. Okay, that's not too bad. Sword of Light and Shadow. All the swords are coming out. Given my opponent had this sword, playing this Trickster early was not good.
Another one. Now you have 3 card draw opportunities.
No, I don't, because they've got this Ghost Quarter. Alright, start sacrificing.
Good stuff. It's desperation mode, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Ooh. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, but no Island Walk.
Damn that stupid Ghost Quarter. And the Ghost Quarter can hit my Mutavault too. I have to deal with another sword next turn. Pass. Usually, Batterskull is not a big deal. And Batterskull is not a big deal. But Batterskull with a Sword of Feast and Famine and another sword on top of it, that's a big deal. That's a problem. That's a point where I acknowledge. Batterskull is a problem. Oh, great. I do something in combat. Because they're not playing their sword.
Maybe he thinks he's got it. He doesn't need the sword. Yeah, you should just block it till it dies.
Oh, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, protection from green? Alright, I'm going to have to block it like that. As is, it's going to kill both. So, better save one. Oh, they don't have the Path to Exile this time. Okay, so that's not a bad exchange. I'm happy about that. And maybe we can encourage our opponent to tap out with their mana. Maybe. Because now we have a healthy board on the battlefield. But we need to spreading, or we need to draw. Oh, I was like, we need to draw a second Spreading Seas, but now our opponent just plays a second Ghost Quarter.
Ghost Quarter still good.
The thing about these Eldrazi and Taxes matchups is they're sometimes so high variance. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Magic gods, why? Why are you doing this to me?
Just roll them both out. Get them to spend those Ghost Quarters anyway.
No, but then I lose my cards. Ugh, this is terrible. And they have enough mana to bring the Batterskull back to their hand.
And just swing with everything you got. 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 points of damage.
That's not a bad plan, actually. Holy crap, I have a lot of power on the battlefield. It's not a bad plan. That's the best idea you've had all day. They can bring Batterskull back. So I probably should use both these Spreading Seasons this turn. Or I use the Mutavault to distract one of them. That's a line. Maybe we distract one of them. Oh my god, I love this. Okay, let's do that. One of the Ghost Quarters is about to get distracted. Hopefully they don't have that stupid 1-drop. Or Path to Exile. Oh my god, they can just re-bring Batterskull back to their hand and replay it. This is terrible. I had to play it 1 Seas first. At the very least. But it doesn't change anything. Because if I play Seas, they could let it resolve. And then they just... Oh, but then I play the second Seas, and then they have to respect that? Well, this game was just played stupid. Well, okay, there is something gained here. A little bit. They did tap out. So I get to hit one of the Ghost Quarters. But then they're going to equip the sword and get rid of my... Oh no, but I'll draw a card off of Spreading Seas. Since I don't really like this line. Okay, I prefer that we Spreading Seased something. Like anything. Oh, that's interesting. They're going to get rid of one Stoneforge Mystic. They're going to respect their life total.
Life totals have been evened out.
Not really.
Amazing stuff.
That is now going to make everything even harder for me to decide what to do. Because that's a pretty good card. But they're going to make me discard it with the Sword of Feast and Famine. And they're going to gain 6 life. Well, okay, so they have enough mana to bounce Germ back to their hand, or bounce the Batterskull back to their hand, but not replay it this turn. I cannot block. Oh no, forget it, they're going to untap their lands. So frustrating. We will discard Spreading Seas. Damn. What if we played Seas first? That would that do it? No, it wouldn't do it because they could always tap the seized land for colorless or like a blue, blow up the land, get another land. They would never be down mana if I play Seas first.
Oh, go.
No, this is not good. Okay, you blow this thing up, you get a land. We are...
Assuming that all of his cards in his hand are just lands. He's got nothing else.
I'm still in a lot of trouble. Yeah, if their hand probably is a bunch of lands. Oh, and that sword. And our opponent can afford to play super patiently. They have just enough mana. This game went perfectly for our opponent. I don't know, maybe we had some better line that I didn't see. What is this now? Protection from white and black? Sure.
Still no protection from blue.
But here, okay, so here's the good news.
Just save 15% on my contracts.
Okay, we're just fake blocking to see if we can get our opponent to do something. Probably nothing's gonna happen. So now we bounce the germ. So they can't return the germ back and recast it this turn. Like they can't get the Batter Skull back on the battlefield. So that's a huge bonus. They tap themselves out enough that now we can make a bit of an attack this next turn. I don't even know what I want for the next turn. We gotta play faster. I'm at 7 minutes. So if we win this game, you know, it's possible that we can win another one. Flicker Wisp. Flicker the Batter Skull. That's pretty good. But why not do that during combat? Because you can activate this, right? Oh, you want to equip it with the swords. Okay. If they equip it with the sword, we need Spreading Seas into Lord, and then maybe that's enough to win. Well, they didn't do that. But still, Spreading Seas into Lord would be very good.
Well, you can flash in the borrower. 3 damage on here.
I'm just frustrated our opponent had, like, exactly the hand to undermine our hand as we draw more... They draw more Ghost Quarters as we draw more, like, Spreading Seizes. This game is totally slipping out of our grasp. And they've got a flyer now for our flyer. Like, I don't know how much more unfair this game can get. This was so unfair.
Still swing for 12.
I know I sound like a whiny, bitchy Merfolk player, but this is stupid. I'd actually rather they had a handful of creatures instead of a handful of mana and Ghost Quarters, strangely enough. I'm chump blocking this garbage. Surprised they're not putting on the Flicker Wisp. I can't chump block that very well. Or at all. Chump block with my Mutavault because it can be vulnerable to Ghost Quarter. In theory. And it's also just mana taxing. But I mean, at this point, I don't know what to do. I mean, if I draw Oko, like, what does it matter? I can't Oko the Germ token, I'll just make it bigger. Make my problems worse. But it would all start with Spreading Seas into Lord. Or even just one Spreading Seas would be good. So yeah, draw the Oko, but I don't know what I can do here. Because even if I, like, hit the Batter Skull... What if I hit the Batter Skull, do something, actually?
Yeah, I'll take the Batter Skull off the battlefield.
At the very least, yeah, our opponent would have to bounce it. Alright, Oko, are you going to be doing what you're supposed to be doing? I still can't attack. They're going to bounce it back to their hand. That seems risky. And you don't get the 3/3 creature. Okay, I'm at 7. Next turn you play it. I guess you can play it and equip everything to it, or equip it to some creature, including the Flicker Wisp. You have the mana. At least I can attack. Because they can equip the Flicker Wisp and attack for 7 in the air. We are at that point where something like that could happen. That was a good attack! That was a very good attack, but it's like worthless at this point. And then Oko can't even steal the Flicker Wisp. Or Oko never could, actually. It's just power 2. Power 3 or less, I can steal the Flicker Wisp. I could give them my Ether Vial. Take your Flicker Wisp. Another Ghost Quarter. Another one. Look, I'm already down, and it's like you're kicking me when I'm already down. This is so rude. Who would have thought that just Stoneforge Mystics and a bunch of swords and a ton of mana would just undermine my entire plan?
Where's that damage going? So, no go?
Yeah, where are you going?
No, you.
Why not me? Gain 3 life, you can return 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your something. So let's...
Can only block creatures that are flying.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're gonna block this thing then. Our opponent's gonna have a great turn. They can like Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, they actually just get the Flicker Wisp. So it was just like everything was terrible. Well, Oko, you weren't very impressive, but like we were way behind. Oko is great when you're at parity or you're ahead. When you're way behind, especially on like board state, like and your opponent has like a giant 6/6 lifelink vigilance, land untapping, opponent discarding a card, creature. It's a bit late.
It's unfortunate.
I think we still would have been doing fine if our let's say our opponent was just playing creatures instead of playing lands. Like I think we can beat a lot of creatures.
You still have 3 Tricksters, right? If you got Trickster after Trickster after Trickster to hold him back every turn.
This wouldn't be enough. It would be meaningless. Ha! This is hilarious. There's a second Batter Skull. Germ token. I've never. I don't. This is a first. 2 germ tokens at once.
They multiply.
They do.
They get all over your forks and your knives and shit, and they multiply.
This almost looks like a game where it should be good for me because of Hold on, what happened to the Flicker Wisp? It's gone.
He didn't bring it back.
Yeah, but still, it's in the it's not even in the graveyard. Oh, it just gets returned to your hand?
Yes.
Uh-huh, okay. So, like, turning this into an elk is meaningless. That's okay, we can resign. I've had enough.
Good game.
We're not winning from here. It's just not happening. That's a very frustrating game to lose. That is a horribly frustrating game to lose. In essence, our opponent flooded out to their benefit. But that's how Magic happens. I wish Magic would happen the other way around. I might have screwed up. I might have had to what's it called? In the first game with Oko, and I should now maybe pay more attention to this. Use Oko as a way of getting my opponent to like tap out to beat him, and then I counterattack back at my opponent. I never really thought about that as a strategy with Oko. I was just thinking, if I keep this Oko alive in the long run, it's going to help me win the game. And I spent too many resources doing that. I should just I should actually just take Oko up to 6, make my opponent go all out attack on Oko. Or maybe still hitting the Ether Vial was fine. Making my opponent screwed on mana. I don't mind the mana screw plan that I had in game 1, but I shouldn't have defended the Oko. I should have let Oko die. I had a good high life total. I should counterattack against my opponent, put them down to a really low life total, and then put him in a really desperate situation. I had a lot of spreading seas on the board, and any top deck lord would win, and my opponent would not be allowed to attack. I think that was the route to victory in game 1. And in game 2, I just didn't. I had no damn chance against this rollout. There was no way. Turn 3 Batterskull was more than enough to stabilize against us. We had spreading seas, but they had all the ghost quarters. We even had 2 spreading seas. But that's how it is. But still, look for I don't think that there was much improvement in this game, but always look for improvement in the games that you lose. Usually it's because you screwed up. Hey, maybe I did screw up in this game and I just couldn't see it. I don't know what I could have done differently. But maybe it is. Maybe there is something in this game that I'm missing. Let me know in the comment section below if you think you can find an improvement. But that's our game for today. We're going to thank all my patrons supporting me on Patreon. We're also going to thank themanabase.com and the MTG Mastermind for being our sponsors. This has been Nikachu with his brother playing Simic Merfolk in Modern.